Hey everyone, welcome back to Mike's Final Experience. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Today, really excited to share with you my thoughts on Analogue Production's most recent release of Miles Davis' Birth of the Blue. So excited to share that with you. Before I get started into that, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. As always, please leave comments in the comments section below. I appreciate hearing from you. I really do. I feel like I've really gotten to know some of you through just corresponding in some of my videos. And so I just appreciate your comments. Please do that in the comment section below. I appreciate it so very much. Well, let's just jump in and talk about Miles Davis' Birth of the Blue. Now, if you recall, about a month ago, maybe it's been 5 or 6 weeks, I can't remember. Time just flies this time of year, as you all know. But I remember when I got the video, or at least a notification of the video, from Acoustic Sounds talking about the release of this album. And of course, the video was Chad talking about everything about the album, the songs that are on the album, how the album was sourced, the time frame that it was coming from and created. Of course, talking about the cover of the album itself. I mean, it's just a classic Columbia type record cover that they have done for this. It's just when he was describing that in the video, I was just like pumped. I immediately stopped the video. I didn't even finish it. Went right to Acoustic Sounds website and pre-ordered. This is the blue vinyl version of the album. And I tell you what, I got mine about 2 days ago. And I've been listening quite intently. This is a classic album. Of course, this was done not quite a year prior to the release of Kind of Blue. Kind of Blue came out in 1959. This album was released not quite a year prior to that in 1958, with the same guys, with the same incredible, huge, amazing band members that Miles had assembled at that time that he did Kind of Blue. Those band members are Cannonball Adderley on the saxophone, Paul Chambers on bass, James Cobb on drums, John Coltrane on sax, and of course Bill Evans on the piano. I mean, in the world of jazz music, of course, Kind of Blue is probably the most popular, I'm not really sure of this, but I would imagine that's probably the #1 jazz album of all time. At least I think it's being considered by a lot of jazz folks. It's certainly in my top 5 albums, Kind of Blue. It's a fantastic, fantastic album. Certainly worthy of any jazz collector to be in their collection for sure. Well, this is 4 songs that was from that same group prior to Kind of Blue, and the 4 songs are absolutely incredible. Now, these 4 songs on this album have appeared on other Miles Davis albums, mostly as fillers and so forth. But boy, I don't know if they've been given to us in such a manner as they have on this album. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to tell you about the album cover, and we'll talk about the sound quality on the album. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the album. As I've indicated to you, this is the blue vinyl version. I'll let you see that first real quick. Really kind of a neat, pretty blue color on the album. As you can see, it's a Columbia 6i album center. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, that rendering of the old Columbia albums is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you could see that, but it's somewhat translucent. You can see through it. Kind of a really cool thing there, actually. Let's take a quick look at the Stoughton printed jacket and cover. Once again, Analogue Productions, in my humble opinion, I think their covers are second to none. I really do. I think the work that they are doing, not only with just all of their Analogue Production releases, even the Atlantic 75 and so forth, are just incredible. Here's the back side of the album, an incredible picture there of Miles Davis, giving a lot of information. The gatefold cover is quite impressive, and hope I can let you see that without any terrible glare, which there's always seems to be glare. I really need to do a better job of get some better lighting for sure on this. But the cover and the album are just simply wonderful. Now keep in mind these are $40. And I do know that the black version of the album is out of stock right now at Acoustic Sounds as of this day that I'm doing the video. And the SACD has not yet been released. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in just a minute as well. But let's go in and let me kind of give you really quickly my impressions of the sound quality on this album. So before I give you my impressions on the sound quality of this album, let me kind of tell you how this album was derived and the sources that were used. They started with the original 3-track recording session tapes, and they were mixed down to a brand new 30-inch per second quarter-inch stereo master tape. That was done by senior mastering engineer Vic Anaseni at Battery Studios. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I apologize if I am. From that stereo master tape, Matthew Luthans at the mastering lab cut the lacquers at 33 1/3 RPM, utilizing Doug Sax's legendary all-tube cutting lathe. And so we all know it's an all-analog path, which is absolutely what we want, what we expect, and what we're so grateful to have. And boy, I tell you what, that process has been phenomenal. Not just with this album, but for many other albums that we all know that we have had from that same mastering setup and those mastering people. Going on side one, now there's only 4 songs on this, so that's going to be quite quick. On side one, on Green Dolphin Street, one of the great songs on the album, absolutely. This is simply spectacular. Stereo sound on this album is really quite interesting. For the very most part, Miles Davis's trumpet appears for the most of the songs in the left channel. Of course, we got piano, bass, tenor sax. They're all absolutely spectacular, including the drums. In overall definition and dynamics, the bass of Paul Chambers sets the pace from start to finish. Of course, the drums by Jimmy Cobb is absolutely wonderful as well. One thing I did notice in this soundtrack on all 4 of these songs is Paul Chambers' bass. It's got good authority and good weight to it. It doesn't sound to me, it sounds very natural to me, I guess is what I should say. It sounds really, really, really nice. Second song on side one, Fran Dance. This is a beautiful track, by the way. Miles' trumpet along with Bill Evans' piano are clean and super detailed. Tenor sax, just slightly to the right of the stage, is excellent. Cobb's bass is again solid with appropriate extension. Now keep in mind, Miles' trumpet on these songs, most of them, he's in the left channel. I shouldn't say left channel. He's left of stage is probably the better thing. You can actually hear in certain songs here on this album, you can actually hear, and that's why it says like it's kind of stage left rather than left speaker, because you can certainly hear it in the other speaker as well. Moving over quickly to side 2, Stella by Starlight. This is a fantastic song. Miles' trumpet is beautifully recorded with an incredible focus and detail and very well good extension on that top end. The tenor sax, bass, and drums, once again, are just simply stunning. Bill Evans' piano is absolutely perfect and spot on in this recording. It's really quite incredible. Last song on side 2, Love for Sale. Right before the song starts, you can hear Miles snapping his fingers for rhythm before the song actually starts. It's really quite amazing. It just sounds great. You've got to hear that. It's perfectly balanced recording. It's got amazing detail. The extension top to bottom, trumpet and sax in this song just sound fantastic. And once again, Paul Chambers' bass is really excellent. It really sets the foundation for these songs. I really can't tell you enough how I think this recording is just absolutely remarkable. To wrap this up and conclude, if you're a Miles Davis fan, this album is a must-have. It just simply is. Now I do know that the blue version is sold out, but the black version of the album, I know that they've sold everything that they had printed, and they're printing more. I don't think there's any limit to that. So they are coming back, and of course, they haven't announced the SACD when that will be released. And really, incidentally, speaking of the SACD, and I mentioned this a little earlier, if you're a digital individual and digital person, this is absolutely a wonderful album. The songs on here are spectacular. The recording's spectacular. But if you're a digital guy and you want to get the SACD, I strongly suggest you do. And I have no idea how it sounds, obviously, right? But really, what I have been doing with the Atlantic 75 series, the albums that I'm not purchasing and the albums that I like that I don't want to pay the $60 premium for the albums, I'm purchasing some of those on SACD. I probably got 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 of the Atlantic 75 SACDs, and I'm going to be doing a video on this, but they sound spectacular. So the point that I'm trying to get at is when the SACD is released of this album, it would absolutely be worth getting if you're into digital, because I know it's going to sound absolutely spectacular. The vinyl is incredible. It's an all analog path. It sounds fantastic. This is probably going to be one of my show off your system type of albums. It's really that good. The musicianship, the music of this great, incredible band that Miles put together is nothing short of fantastic. And to have 4 more songs from that same group of people that we do on Kind of Blue, what an incredible, awesome thing that is for all of us. Great album. Absolutely highly recommended. Hats off to Chad Kassem at Acoustic Sounds and Analogue Productions, Matthew Luthans at the Mastering Lab. Fantastic job. Highly recommended. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Have a great day.